For the first time in Brooklyn Nets history, the team has put into place the type of roster that can seriously contend for an NBA championship. With the pairing of Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant, Brooklyn can utilize the supreme talents of 3 titles worth of experience, complementing them nicely with role players that make this team deep, athletic, and explosive. So let's look at how this dynamic duo performed in their first minutes on the court together last night, under the watchful eye of new coach Steve Nash, to figure out just how well these pieces fit. It didn't take long at all for KD to make his mark in the box score after a possession that didn't show us much in terms of movement. But after Spencer Dinwiddie wrestled away the offensive rebound, Durant got a chance to push off his surgically repaired right leg and attack the baseline for the dunk, just like we'd seen him do countless times in his career. Get used to Durant bringing the ball up a lot, and you don't need to run a ton of fancy offense when DeAndre Jordan can quickly set the screen. Notice how both defenders' fear of Durant lure them above the three-point line, and KD is so long, he can easily slip this pass through for one of his 3 assists. You might have caught my live show 2 weeks ago, where I went over this action out of a sideline out-of-bounds play. The inbounder gets the back screen from the guard before coming around the center for the handoff. Well defended, Kyrie gets hella creative with the spin back to the baseline before hopping into the 15-foot bank shot over the good contest of Thomas Bryant. The mid-range bank shot is almost a lost art, yet it's a great way to release this shot over the big man and get it to go into the basket. Setting pin downs for KD will be a staple of this offense, but with DeAndre Jordan setting it above the elbow, his man can ignore him to go help on KD and blow the whole set up. Credit Dinwiddie for creating the contact and earning free throws. Another key to watch for is how willing is Kyrie to pass it to Durant, and how early. I think that was answered pretty clearly. Despite having 30 feet of open space in front of him, Kyrie finds KD open on the right wing, allowing him to go strong to the hole for more free throws. You can see the Nets are looking to spring Durant open with all sorts of weak side screens, but Kyrie isn't going to let an opportunity to attack Neto in isolation go by. Credit for good defense, but Kyrie is better, as he hit 5 of his first 6 shots for 12 first quarter points. Considering how KD tore his Achilles a year and a half ago in the finals, I had my eye open for similar movements to see how he'd hold up. And here's an example where the leg seemed strong enough to handle it. This combination of strength and flexibility reminds me of the 2 most important things you need when shopping online. And that's where Honey comes in. In 2 easy clicks, you've got Honey installed on your browser, and it will automatically scour the internet for the right coupon codes. Those of you who have already installed Honey using my link have found over $6,700 in savings. I needed some new kicks for the holidays, and Honey threw me the assist, just like Kyrie Irving did to his teammates last night. So why not let Honey do the same for you? It's free by clicking on joinhoney.com/CoachNick. Huge thanks to Honey for making this possible, so make me look good by using my special link at joinhoney.com/CoachNick, and you'll be saving money in the time it took for Kyrie to get the outlet pass and fire it down to a streaking KD for the transition layup. Before we analyze how well these 2 work together in half-court possessions on offense, let's take a peek at what was going on defensively, since the biggest reason they won't get to the finals is because they can't defend anybody. The matchup we didn't know we'd need was the Rui Hachimura versus Kevin Durant duel, and these guys took turns taking it to each other all game. You can't extend your last step of a layup when being defended by someone as long as Durant, and Rui found that out the hard way. It was good to see KD making a lot of defensive plays out there, considering where he's coming back from. But it's Kyrie who's going to need to have a presence here as well. And while he got a severe break not having to guard Bradley Beal or Russell Westbrook, I liked his energy and effort. His hands are active as he helps contain the pick and roll and gets the steal. You can see how KD wants to share the ball and force it right back to him, but this was an instance where he should have kept it and pushed up the middle of the floor. Again, Kyrie shows good energy to pick up the ball 10 feet above the three-point line, then sprint under the screen fast to pick up Neto on the other side. They gave up a decent look at the 3, but with Jordan at least nearby for a contest. However, the battle between Rui and KD continued. One thing Durant hasn't always been interested in is the tough fight for rebounds down low, and Rui manhandles him down there for the putback dunk. KD says, "Alright, you serious, huh?" So he takes Rui to the mid-block, faces him up, and just casually jays it all up in Rui's face, looking a hell of a lot like the old KD. This battle down low continued as Durant used his long wingspan to deflect the pass away despite the great position by Hachimura, and ultimately contested this into a long 2-brick. The rest of the Nets are going to need to get more aggressive on offense once they realize just how dominant Durant and Irving are going to be on the ball. Hence, Spencer needs to let this one fly rather than look to defer to the two stars. But Kyrie doesn't mind the opportunity and does his CP3 impersonation on the big man for the mid-range jumper. I like this action Nash put in as Kyrie sets the step-up screen early for Dinwiddie and then watch Kyrie roll into the lane before curling back for the nice highlight pass early by Dinwiddie back to the strong side. Neto tried to recover but got there just in time to foul him for the and one. I can't fault KD for being overly aggressive on defense normally, but this one isn't his help as his man had slipped to the basket, leaving KD in no man's land as Avdija does a nice read off the pick and roll to find Wagner for the dunk. But he gets Wagner back a minute later, poking the dribble away and starting a fast break that leads to more free throws. I wish I could point out a ton of sets that Steve Nash has installed to get easier shots for the two stars, but there just wasn't much to see here. And you can see why when Kyrie just goes to work out of the 5-out pick and roll, and pay particular attention to his footwork on the pull-up. Going to his right, he executes a right-left into the shot. This is a very viable move and catches the defense off guard when he's expecting a traditional left-right into the jump. Here's a set that didn't quite go off as planned as both Kyrie Irving follows his pass on the high side as Jarrett Allen runs over to set an inside ball screen. But no matter, this is really encouraging to see Durant battle through lots of contact on his way into the paint and then hit the Dirk leg fall away. But we did get to see noticeable signs of rust and lack of rhythm as he tries to go to work in the post but ends up getting stripped on the way up. One thing KD was notorious for was his lack of physicality on screens, but last night he seemed much more willing to get in there and mix it up, even if it resulted in a couple of illegal screen calls. Be sure to watch for plenty of early offense from Kyrie Irving, who's locked in the battle with Durant for offensive supremacy. Watch how he crosses over left to right, but hits Brown with a kick to the left that doesn't touch the ground until the knee bends, reminding me of that invisible box challenge, before kicking into high gear back to the right around his man for the layup that somehow didn't get blocked as it banged softly off the glass and in. We got a little closer to involving Kyrie and KD in the same action as Kyrie goes away from KD in the pick and roll, looking to potentially hit him on the lift from the corner to the wing. The ball gets deflected, and now we get that very familiar inside ball screen. I don't blame him for taking this shot over the smaller defender, but Kyrie is the guy standing wide open behind him. KD continued to get the better of this matchup with Rui as he aggressively pushes off that right foot hard and again blocks the attempt at an extended left step jump to start the break. At last, we got what we were waiting for, the Kyrie-KD pick and roll. And instead of slipping the screen and avoiding contact as Durant has done so much of the last few years, he lays some good wood on Neto and pops open. Credit good feet from Hachimura. They run the same play again, this time to the left on the left wing, and despite good defense with Rui hedging high and Neto hustling to get back on ball, Irving just sends it through the legs into the shot and splashing it down. I've been high on Rui since he was in college, and I think Wizards fans had better be prepared for a monster season from him as he hits the D with a gorgeous shot fake into dunk. But this leads to another exciting play as Kyrie is clearly looking to get KD involved as much as possible by throwing this strike 75 feet on the money to Durant for the assist and layup. Rui continued going right at Durant on this isolation, but watch how Durant pivots himself at the last step to square his chest up, absorb the contact, accentuate it a lot, and get the ref to give him the charge call. This is the kind of effort we don't normally see from a 12-year vet in the first game of the preseason. I can't stress enough how important it will be to get consistent effort and playmaking defensively from Kyrie Irving. And here he is again making an impact by rotating to contest and block this shot out of Rui's hands. Rui even started getting the veteran treatment from the refs, as Durant draws the contact on the shot, but there is no whistle, causing a wild miss. And Scott Brooks must have recognized this action right from his OKC playbook for KD, as the right side pin down is set by the center, and Durant gets the good look from 15 feet on the defensive switch. An interesting development here as the end of the half winds down. Who was going to get the ball to finish the quarter? Durant defers and seems okay with it as Kyrie pulls back the crossover for the three-pointer, but again, good defense by Neto. On to the second half. No Kyrie, but I was intrigued by this set drawn up by Nash. KD again sets a strong screen for DeAndre Jordan, who's on his way up to set a ball screen. But wait! He stops and turns to set a pin away for Gary Harris instead. This was supposed to pull Rui to the roll man and open up Durant, but credit Bryant for great hustle back into the lane. The offense has nothing to flow back into as a five-man group, so KD must isolate and Rui won't let him get anywhere but tossing up this miss. It's a work in progress for KD coming back from such a long layoff, and you can see the Nets are going to run stuff to get him the ball down low, like this point guard cross screen, which gets him good low post position, but he can't hit the shot. I can't get over how much better Rui looks. Watch how he beats KD to the spot attacking in the middle, forcing him into a crossover to a pull-up. KD gets the open look, but he had to work hard for it and can't knock it down. And that's when Rui began getting the upper hand with this matchup, as he hits the three-point shot in KD's face in transition. And then he hits Durant with a fake step-back jumper, steps through to get the shot off, and absorbs the contact for the and one as well. Wow. And then again, Hachimura catches Durant ball watching and really slow to react to the jumper, which he knocks down in Durant's face. We can chalk up these defensive lapses to the playing in the second half of a preseason game, but KD does get beat on the cut despite going under the screen. It would have been nice to see Jordan rotate to help, and Brown gets the easy dunk. But the evidence has been presented, and I am ready to announce my verdict. The pairing of Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving is going to upset a lot of Eastern Conference teams that have spent years trying to build a championship roster. Health will be the biggest obstacle for this team, but if they're able to play the bulk of the games together and develop rhythm and chemistry, this Brooklyn Nets team has all the pieces they need to overcome anything the East has to offer and get right to the finals, where they'll most likely have to deal with the Lakers, giving us a finals to remember.